Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and today I'm in the greenhouse. Now, for people who've been watching us for a while, you've seen me do this a million times, but right now we're doing a thing called the Every Bit Counts Challenge, and we're encouraging people who have never cooked much from scratch or planted a thing or saved a thing or any of those sort of things to try doing something on their own and just learn something cool and then share it with us. So today I am going to be potting up some plants that I started as seeds over on the seed bench a couple of weeks ago. Now the first thing I'm going to do is sort of a mishmash. These are Laurentian rutabagas. Now I have to admit we have not had any success with them before. We're trying again. So we grew them this winter and we had no success practically because it was just too hot. I mean, let me try that again. Too cold. It'll be too hot this summer. So what I'm going to do is, we started new ones, and I have a problem in that two of these seeds came up way later than all the other ones. So I'm actually going to consolidate my plant here. But first I'm going to just plain get these guys in here and see if we can get them growing. These are already the same kind of plant. So I'm going to... Now some of these little containers like this you can squeeze like this and then kind of give it a little push and the plants will slide out. And part of whether that works or not depends on how moist the soil is, and these are actually wetter than I normally would transplant, but everybody was getting kind of wilty this morning because it got hot in here this morning faster than I thought it would. They're a little wetter than I usually would have, so I have to be a little bit more careful that they don't sort of crumble apart. But I'm just squeezing from all four sides, pushing up a little from the bottom, grabbing the stem, and it slides out pretty well. And we're hoping for better luck this time around because the crop we grew this winter was not a success. All right, now what I have is a baby in there, and I'm going to move one of these babies over because I want to reduce the number of random pots I have sitting around that I don't need. Now I usually would let these get a smidge larger, but you can see they're growing so fast that I already have white roots showing on the outside. So I just kind of want to get these guys in so that they have the best chance possible to make. And unfortunately, we've had, like I said, we had bad luck this winter, and we just had such brutally cold weather that several things were not particularly successful. But we're not giving up. We're just simply trying it again. Now, we know that at this time of year, we should be okay in terms of the cold. We'll get cold weather. We'll have multiple freezes. Our last frost date is actually not until like April 16th, April 20th in there somewhere, depending on which chart you look at. But we shouldn't have any 20-degree weather. And I say shouldn't because you never know. But these are all in the cabbage family, and cabbage plants of all sorts, whether they're true cabbages or whether they're some other kind of thing in the cabbage family, are pretty cold resistant normally. So what I'm doing here is I'm transplanting this little seedling into a different container. Now I could put this guy back over there and give him time to grow out. Transplanting these guys would be a waste of time. You'd probably just kill them. So we're not going to do that. So I can set these guys aside, and all I have to do to these guys now is water them. Now, I have a couple of other projects. Jack, you're going to have to move your tush. Jack, I don't want to squish you. Thank you. Now I have some rather yellowy looking Bok Choi. And I think what the problem is that these have not gotten quite enough fertilizer. So we're going to fix that by getting them transplanted into here, and then we'll give them a good hit. Now, when I say a good hit, I'm going to be very gentle with them to start with. I know that they need more nutrition than what they've been getting, but I am not going to suddenly hit them with, see, we have white roots on the outside, so they're definitely ready to go. I am definitely not going to hit these guys with heavy fertilizer because I will cook them, and I do not want to do that. The whole point of growing these is we love Bok Choi in stir fry and other things like that. Soup. Our local groceries here do not do a good job of selling this stuff. They sell it, it's expensive, and it is just positively ratty. It's just, it always looks like they rolled it from the farm. So we figured a couple of years ago, if we wanted good Bok Choi, we had to grow it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put probably all of these plants in here. This particular variety of Bok Choi can grow pretty well as a mini Bok Choi. I can take off the particularly yellowy leaves, and that'll help make it look a little bit better to start with. When I water them in, I'm going to use a little micro boost, which is a special solution that has all the micronutrients that a plant could need in them. And then I'm also going to have probably some fish emulsion, and that'll give it a little bit of nitrogen, but not so much that I have to worry about frying the poor little things. I'm going to put a sign in here. I know these are Bok Choi, and Bok Choi is a very distinctive plant, so I won't have a problem with that. I still like putting it on, just in case I ever had anybody come visit and help. I want them to know what stuff is, because not everybody is a gardener. All right, there's 4 in. I need to put in another 4. Now, the reason we love to grow our own plants from seeds is that when I went to the big box store the other day, I did buy 2 containers of herbs. I bought a lemon balm and I bought Thai basil. And those darn little plants, which actually were pretty healthy looking, I'll give them credit for that, were $3.85 a piece. Now, if that's all I wanted to grow, that's a really good deal. If I had to buy, well, first of all, I can't buy Thai basil at my grocery store, but if I had to buy herbs every time I went to the grocery store, I would pay a lot more than that. But I think for about $4.25, I can get an entire container of seeds. Now, if I'm going to buy a cheaper brand, I could probably get it even cheaper than that. We tend to spend buy more expensive seeds. There we go. They're looking great already. They look happy. I'm going to water those in using a mix of fish emulsion and with a little bit of micro boost. And that is going to do it. I'm just going to follow the instructions on the container. You have to follow the instructions on the fertilizer containers, especially if you're using chemical fertilizers. I use 99% natural fertilizers and mostly organic fertilizers, and they are usually slower release and you're less likely to burn anything with them. However, follow the instructions, you can still kill something with your fertilizer, and that's not the idea. So, I hope you enjoyed my brief journey into the greenhouse garden today. I'm proud to say that these pots here now have Adirondack blue potatoes popping up in them. So we have 2 in that, 1 popping up and 1 over here popping up. There's a total of 4 potatoes in each of those pots. So that's a good start. They haven't been there that long. So I'm real pleased that they're doing as well as they are. But be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we're going to be doing lots more. And eventually, I will do a video on how to turn Bok Choi into stir fry or chicken soup, Chinese chicken soup or something like that. Because that's the sort of thing we do around here all the time. And it's super yummy. It really doesn't take that much time. What takes the most time is actually, you know, like cutting up the veggies. And I suppose if you really wanted to be lazy, you could just get frozen veggies that are already pre-cut. But since we grow our own, that wouldn't work. So until next time, bye.